Science 4.4. How do people disturb the balance? Human activities change the environment when ecosystems change. Some organisms die or leave the area. Other organisms adapt to the changes and survive. People and the environment. Like all organisms, humans interact with their environment. We get our food, shelter, and water from the land and organisms that surround us. Unlike other organisms, we can change large parts of the environment to meet our needs. We cut down trees to provide us with lumber and land for houses. We clear prairies to plant crops or build roads. When we change the environment, however, we sometimes upset the balance of ecosystems. We also affect ecosystems with wastes from the products we make and use. These waste products can pollute the air we breathe and the water we drink. Many of the things we do release dirt, dust, and harmful gases into the air. Automobiles and factories can release harmful chemicals into the air. These chemicals can harm plants. Animals that depend on these plants may lose their source of food or shelter. Lichens grow just about everywhere in soil, on tree trunks and branches, on rocks, roofs, and walls. These organisms are sensitive to the air pollutant known as sulfur dioxide. The air surrounding some cities is so polluted that lichens can't not survive. Whether or not lichens can grow is one indicator that the air pollution in an area.
Question 1. When we change the environment, we sometimes upset the blank of ecosystems. A. Part. B. Balance. C. Look. Question 2. Automobiles and factories can release harmful blank into the air. A. Chemicals. B. Pieces. C. Plants. Number 3. Chemicals can harm plants. Animals that depend on these plants may lose their source of A. Reclaiming. B. Food or shelter. C. Chemicals.
Polluted water. Water becomes polluted when waste and chemicals get into rivers, lakes, and oceans. Some of these substances enter the water through sewer systems. Other chemicals are used on land to help plants grow or to kill insects. Rain washes these chemicals off the land and into the water. Some of these chemicals can harm or kill fish and other plants and animals that live in or near the water. Some pollutants in rivers and streams may end up in the Earth's oceans. Oil is a pollutant that can harm the ocean's plants and animals. Sometimes spills and leaks occur during the drilling and shipping of oil. Algae, plants, mollusks, and fish become coated with oil and die. Birds that are coated with oil often drown. Fire on the water. In 1952, the Cayuga River caught fire. The river was heavily polluted with oil, logs, and other wastes. The fire burned because of the oil floating on the water. A fire on the river in 1969 led to the Clean Water Act, which made it illegal for anyone to put pollutants in the water.
Number 4. Some of the pollutants in rivers and streams may end up in Earth's A. Oceans. B. Shelter. C. Pollute.
Land pollution. Garbage, litter, and other substances can pollute the land. Humans produce huge amounts of garbage. Each day, each person throws away about 2 kilograms of garbage. Most of this trash is dumped into landfills and then covered with soil. Disposing of hazardous waste can cause other kind of land pollution. Hazardous wastes are substances that are very harmful to humans and other organisms. These substances may be poisonous, cause disease, start fires, or react dangerously with other substances. Until recently, most hazardous wastes were put into containers and buried in the ground. Some of these containers leaked. The hazardous wastes seeped into the ground or water and damaged nearby habitats. Stripping away the land. Many valuable substances lie under the Earth's surface. One of these substances is coal. Strip mining has been one way to get coal from the Earth. At one time, huge machines dug up and cleared away top layers of soil. Large holes were left behind. The land surrounding the holes began to erode. Piles of soil and rock were washed into ponds and rivers. The nearby ecosystems were greatly affected. Restoring the land is important for the environment. Habitats are restored and animals can return to the area. If this is not possible, crops are planted so that the land is useful. Birds and other animals may look for food in a landfill.
Question 5. Garbage, litter, and other substances can blank the land. A. Help. B. Balance. C. Pollute. Number 6. Blank are substances that are very harmful to humans and other organisms. A. Hazardous waste. B. Oceans. Or C. Balance.
Land reclamation. Federal law requires that land disturbed by mining must be reclaimed. Reclaiming means that mining companies must replace rock and soil that were removed. They must replant the area with crops or native trees and grasses. Mining companies must submit a plan to reclaim the land they use before the first shovel ever touches the ground. Coal mining in some states began in the 1840s. For more than 100 years, no repairs were made to the lands that had been strip mined. Then, beginning in the 1970s, laws were passed to regulate strip mining. For example, the Surface Mining Control and Reclamation Act law requires that coal companies study the ecosystems before any digging begins. The companies must then plan how to restore the land after they finish mining. California is one state that has reclaimed some mining areas. An area in Sacramento County where gravel was dug has now been restored to its natural water habitat. Other areas grow alfalfa, corn, and other crops. A field of strawberries now covers one mining area. Checkpoint. What human activities damage the environment? Art and science. Make a brochure or poster that tells about ways to reduce different types of pollution.
Blank means that mining companies must replace rock and soil that are removed during mining. Is it A. Hazardous waste, B. Reclaiming, or C. Fixing?
Preserving the environment. Our nation has many natural treasures. You can watch millions of gallons of water cascade over Niagara Falls or look out over the breathtaking Grand Canyon. The United States has established the National Parks System to preserve nature's beauty, historic sites, and habitats of many plants and animals. Yellowstone National Park. In 1872, Yellowstone became the world's first national park. Most of the parks in Wyoming, Most of the park is in Wyoming. Many kinds of trees and other plants and animals, such as bears and moose, live there. Yellowstone's most unusual features are bubbling mud pots and geysers that shoot boiling water high into the air. Saguaro National Park. Saguaro National Park is in the Sonoran Desert in Arizona. The Sonoran Desert is home to more species of plants and animals than any other American desert. It is the only region in the world where giant saguaro cactuses grow. This monument will preserves ancient villages as well as wildlife. Okefenokee National Wildlife Refuge. This refuge in Georgia is the home of many plants and animals. Cranes, herons, egrets, and other waterfowl wade into the marshy areas. Bobcats, deer, otters, and other animals roam in the grassy areas. They are protected from poachers, people who hunt without a license. Decaying vegetation sometimes makes the water in Okefenokee brown. Everglades National Park. Everglades National Park in Florida is a subtropical area. It is a refuge for the wildlife that lives in wet habitats. The park is only a portion of the area called the Everglades. Big Cypress Swamp and many islands off the coast are also in the Everglades.
Number 8. The United States has established the national park system to blank nature's beauty, historic sites, and the habitats of many plants and animals. Is it A, fuel, B, pollute, or C, preserve?